Guard of honour ready for inspection. Sir Matt Busby taking to Old Trafford again to personally thank the players of Manchester United and the Republic of Ireland for supporting this very special occasion. And the Stretford end bursting into a chorus of walking down the Warwick Road to see Matt Busby's aces. And there's a former ace, Kevin Moran, who's the Irish captain. And none of these players will need much of an introduction. Steve Staunton, who just completed a big move from Liverpool to Aston Villa. John Sheridan, whose part in Sheffield Wednesday's Rumbelows Cup success over United will never be forgotten. Big Niall Quinn, who's across the park at Main Road these days. Dennis Irwin of United lining up in Irish green. John Aldridge back in English football with Tranmere Rovers. David O'Leary and Ronnie Whelan. Good to see him back in action after some injury problems. Alex Ferguson taking him down the line of the current United team. Paul Ince and Brian McClare, Gary Pallister, Mal Donaghy, Danny Wallace, Paul Parker, big moment for him. Good luck, son, you've made a good choice. Mark Hughes, Clayton Blackmore, what a good season he had last year for United. Neil Webb. There's the other new face, Peter Schmeichel, and the United skipper Steve Bruce. Very experienced referee in charge, and a good friend, Neil Midgley. And two very experienced linesmen with him too. Joe Worrell, the FIFA official, just out of shot, there he is on the left, and Alan Flood, the other linesman. Alex Ferguson always quick to pay tribute to the support that Sir Matt has given him in his time as United manager. They're difficult footsteps for any current United boss to follow in, but Sir Matt is always prepared to guide those who followed him and try to help them along the line, and that's what the Stretford end think of him. Isn't that lovely? Old Trafford packed, a ground that carries the Matt Busby signature. Here then is the United team, including both new signings. Paul Parker at 3, may play as a sweeper behind Steve Bruce and Gary Pallister. Peter Schmeichel in goal. And amongst the United substitutes today, Brian Robson. And good to see that he's going to be fit to play a part from the very start of the new campaign. It's a strong Irish lineup. The Celtic trio, Bonner, Morris and Cascarino are missing. No Townsend, no McCarthy, no McGrath, but that's just about it. It's pretty much the lineup Jack Chark would like to field, with Dennis Irwin of United at 2 and Kevin Moran, the former United player, captaining the side at 5.
Well, everywhere you go, people talk about Manchester United. They talk about Bobby Charlton, they talk about Sir Matt Busby. It's an incredible phenomenon, really. And I'm talking now behind the Iron Curtain as well, or the Iron Curtain that was. You just think of Matt Busby or Sir Matt Busby when you think of Manchester United. And when you think of English football, you do think of Manchester United. It's incredible, really.
Have you got a particular memory of that era of his management days?
Well, I used to like to watch them in the day. Well, I've watched them for a long time, just as I've watched City for a long time, which was his other club, of course. Yeah, I can remember a game they played Walthamstow Avenue many years ago in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Trevor Bailey played on the wing for Walthamstow. I remember him having a goalkeeper called Stan Garula. It stuck with me, this fella Stan Garula. He was absolutely fantastic, and in fact the game ended up a draw, and they went down and played at Highbury, and of course they beat Walthamstow. But my recollection was Sir Matt giving this fella a bit of innovation walking off. I thought that was terrific, because Walthamstow were amateurs, of course. And I think that's the beauty of the man, isn't it? It doesn't matter whether you're an amateur or a pro, whether you're a kid or whether you're a senior citizen. He's the same with everybody. He's terrific, and that's probably his.
Captains do well to get a word in edgeways with Neil Midgley about. It'll be a competitive affair, you can be sure of that. The Republic of Ireland don't know any other way. And Alex Ferguson will be keen for Manchester United to have a real dress rehearsal for the start of the new season here today. And as we suspected, United are playing with the three central defenders. Gary Pallister giving the ball away there. Paul Parker playing behind Pallister and Bruce. John Aldridge. Niall Quinn. John Sheridan, Kevin Sheedy, looking inevitably for Quinn, and off Clayton Blackmore for a corner kick. Niall Quinn, who scored 22 goals for Manchester City last season, a real success he's proved at Main Road. And Ireland always pose a major threat from these set pieces. They've got Quinn and O'Leary on the near post, Moran and Aldridge beyond them, and a good header by Paul Ince. Houghton, Quinn trying to turn, Sheridan with a shot, blocked by Pallister. There's an offside flag up. David O'Leary, who scored that memorable winning penalty against the Romanians in Genoa during the World Cup, denied by the offside flag. Clayton Blackmore will be encouraged to push forward from that left-back position to augment the midfield, as will Mal Donaghy on the right. Moran beating Hughes to it. Here's Webb. Bruce. Donaghy. Brian McClare. Sheedy for Ireland. Steve Staunton. Kevin Sheedy. Aldridge with the flick on. Hit Neil Midgley, the referee, and it was bound for Sheedy. It was a good little flick from Aldridge. Gave the official a rather cursory glance. Webb. Donaghy. Wallace and McClare rather getting in each other's way there. McClare doing well to find Blackmore. Pallister. McClare's made a good burst down the centre of the field, furthest man forward at the moment. Neil Webb's up there too. And Blackmore thinking out Webb, and he just managed to touch the ball beyond Payton, but beyond the crossbar too. But it was a good break from midfield by Neil Webb, and well picked out by Clayton Blackmore. And Webb beat Payton to the ball. Jerry Payton, who's joined Everton from Bournemouth during the summer, as understudy to Neville Southall. He's a big man, and although he got there late, the target that he posed for Neil Webb was just a little bit too big for him to control his shot. Pallister, head out by Whelan. Quinn. Smuggled away by Blackmore. And again. booming kick from Schmeichel and had a few oohs and ahs inside Old Trafford. He's a huge man. It was a towering kick, and that's going to become a feature of life at Old Trafford. Just finding his range. Hughes. Nothing very friendly about that, was there? Mark Hughes and Kevin Moran. You wouldn't expect anything else. Good friends, though. A little bit too strong for McClare from Bruce. We've had 5 minutes of play. It's Manchester United 0, the Republic of Ireland 0. Houghton on towards Quinn. Couldn't quite take it in his stride and instead tried to set up Sheridan. But well read by Paul Parker. Webb. Well, this is onside as McClare, Hughes and Blackmore in support. And it's Dennis Irwin of all people who gets back there to deny his club colleagues. Good break though, and a useful cross from Wallace. Webb will take the corner. Ince on the volley. Well struck. Came through a crowd of players. Derek Payton wouldn't have had much chance with it if it had been on target. And it only missed the target by a yard or so. Jack Charles been in charge 5.5 years now, 51 internationals, and Ireland have lost just 6 of them. There's a bit of a problem with John Aldridge at the moment, and referees have been told to be particularly vigilant with any wounded players this season. Strictly speaking, they should stop the game if a player is blooded at all, and that's what Neil Medgley's done, so that John Aldridge can pick up a swab. Concern from Gary Pallister and a smile from John Aldridge. It's just a scratch. Now Brian McClare very sportingly giving the ball back to the Irish. Staunton. Moran's header. Parker in quickly again. Ince finding Webb. And a good forward run by Paul Ince. Well spotted by Kevin Moran. May just be a trend at the start of this match, but Paul Ince is getting into some good advanced positions for Manchester United. Steve Staunton. Midway through the first half. Quinn looking for Aldridge. Schmeichel there. And he looks quietly satisfied with what he's watching. He's watching United on the attack. Danny Wallace just denied by David O'Leary. But the speed and the length of Schmeichel's throws is suddenly a brand new attacking ploy for Manchester United. Aldridge finding Quinn. Sheridan in support, plenty happening away to his right. Here's Dennis Irwin. 3 waiting for the cross. It's Aldridge! Stole in front of Gary Pallister, and it was a chance for Aldridge. Got into a good position, but couldn't quite direct or control the header in the way he wished. You're learning a lot this afternoon, Alex Ferguson. Very crucial match for him, this. Chance for him to see his new acquisitions fitting into a new look United style. The players themselves finding out about it all the time. Still got the likes of Robson and Phelan and Kanchelskis to fit into the jigsaw. Lee Sharp, of course. 1 or 2 injury problems still to clear up. Niall Quinn. He's not the worst on the ground. Flick on from Houghton. Webb just playing it behind McClare. Time and time again, when Ireland have set something up on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area, it's Paul Parker who's been first to the scene of the danger and has cut it out and emerged with the ball. Dennis Irwin getting a lot of freedom down the Irish right. Parker's there yet again. Bit of an onus here on McClare and Wallace to take on some defensive duties and stop the 2 Irish fullbacks pushing forward in the way they are. It's been the main threat from Jack Charlton's team to date. That and the constant presence of the giant Quinn. And they're looking to seek him out again here. He's not a difficult target to see. But Staunton can't find him. Brian McClare. Danny Wallace is on his way. And it's Staunton's turn to worry about him. Not quite long enough for Hughes, but O'Leary had to concede the corner. Interesting to see how his 33-year-old legs get through the afternoon. 24 hours after playing a full 90 minutes for Arsenal in the Charity Shield. O'Leary conceding the corner, which Wallace takes. Headed by Moore and not convincing. Houghton and Irwin working it out. Looking for Aldridge. Finding only Donaghy. Bruce got a bad bounce. Whelan found Sheridan. And Ireland have got men over here, and just as well that Mal Donaghy cut out that pass because Kevin Sheedy was ready to burst onto it in space. Instead it's Wallace for United. McClare letting it run. Hughes felt that McClare was impeded. Friendly squeeze from Kevin Moran. Blackmore in the way. Parker. Here's Gary Pallister. Hughes offering himself. Parker. Blackmore to his left. He's looking only forward at the moment. Now he's sprint play out and found Danny Wallace with a lovely ball. Got by Staunton. Throw-in goes Ireland's way. Last 7 minutes of the first half. John Sheridan. Irwin racing forward past Houghton again. Quinn's header. Well, he actually took a ride on the back of his colleague John Aldridge then. That was an interesting decision by Neil Midgley. It wasn't a foul on a United play, it was a foul on his own play, but he was getting leverage illegally. And a free kick is the correct decision. Quinn's header wouldn't have stood. Can't fool me. Sheridan. Irwin. Aldridge made a good run to get in front of Pallister there. Now he'll link up with Irwin again. Three waiting at the back post. Too far for Quinn. He's such a weapon for club and country, Niall Quinn. And he's developing as a player all the time. Scored some very sure-footed goals for Manchester City last season, as well as his inevitable tally of headers. Hughes and Moran really are battling away there. Arms flailing. Sheridan. Pallister in the way. Here's Blackmore. Ray Houghton. Again, United playing their way out of trouble very well. Hughes looking for McClare and found him via Moran. Obstruction by Sheridan. Indirect free kick to Manchester United. Bruce. Webb. Hughes. Minutes of the first half remaining. No goals. Sheridan though, and Aldridge trying to do something about that. Parker got a foot to it, he's turned it into his own goal. It's a goal for Ireland. It will be credited to Paul Parker, but really he performed minor miracles, even getting a foot to the ball. Aldridge has played clear beyond the United rearguard, and somehow Parker got in a challenge, and it was his challenge which in the end defeated Peter Schmeichel. John Aldridge made it happen, but it's an own goal by Paul Parker, which is a rather unkind statistic on a first half in which he's probably been the outstanding player. It's come 3 minutes before half-time. Neil Webb. Danny Wallace. And United must come from behind. Pallister arriving, and somehow Payton kept it out with McClare poaching in front of him. Regal header from Gary Pallister. McClare looking to get a touch, but Payton it was who got the vital touch with his right foot, although there wasn't an awful lot that the goalkeeper knew about it. Blackmore this time. Payton has come for it. Good goalkeeping by Jerry Payton. 35 years of age now. But he managed to keep out the dangerous attempt from Pallister and then gathered the second corner with some confidence. John Sheridan. Steve Staunton. Away by Bruce. Aldridge knocking it back to Sheridan though. Ireland finishing the half strongly. McClare, good play. Danny Wallace. Webb racing forward to get alongside Hughes on the edge of the penalty area. Wallace running at Moran. Run into a green wall there, Danny Wallace. Outnumbered 3-1. Here's David O'Leary getting forward. Interesting to see how quickly he gets back. Ireland might be exposed here. Ince just run offside momentarily as McClare holds on to it. Blackmore. Only Hughes in the box at the moment. And it wasn't the best of crosses, was it? Final minute of a frustrating first half for Manchester United. Started brightly enough. Neil Webb had a good opportunity early on. Paul Ince went close. Jack Charlton's team holds sway at this stage, thanks to a goal which will be credited to the new Manchester United defender Paul Parker. Here is Parker. There's been a polish about everything else that he's done in the game, although he's given that away to Whelan. Spoke too soon. Staunton. Hughes. That's typical Mark Hughes. No such thing as a lost cause with him. Danny Wallace went past Staunton as if he wasn't there. Sheedy helping out his fullback. Staunton actually just clipped Wallace as he whisked past him on the bypass and rather broke his stride. A Manchester United stride broken by that own goal 3 minutes before the interval. But Paul Parker can be happy with just about everything else that he's done in the first half, and it was only really his speed of recovery which got him back to make a challenge on John Aldridge. Unfortunately directed the ball past Peter Schmeichel, and at half-time it's the Republic of Ireland who lead Manchester United by that goal to nil. Ryan Robson, the Manchester United skipper, is out for the second half after a troubled summer period. He's made a swift recovery and is hoping now to prove his fitness in readiness for the start of the league campaign in 6 days' time. Ireland too have made a change and introduced the Mancunian John Byrne, number 14, who was involved in the First Division promotion playoffs with Brighton and Hove Albion at the end of last season, but will start the new season still in the Second Division. Byrne has taken over from Ray Houghton. Free kick is Manchester United's. A handball. Webb to Bruce getting forward here. Difficult to believe he can score quite as many goals as he did last season, Steve Bruce. It really was a prolific effort for a defender. He's got to get back and do some defending now, as Ireland come forward with Dennis Irwin. Here is John Byrne, the substitute. David O'Leary. Aldridge just clipped from behind by Pallister. The United wall is going to be pushed back inside their own penalty area here. Steve Staunton would like to have a crack at this one, I would think, with his left foot. It's on his side. Dennis Irwin's waiting just behind the ball too. Ronnie Whelan hands on hips. Staunton looks the favourite, but it's Whelan. Just clipped the side of the net. Peter Schmeichel, the side of the goal defended by his wall, and he just about had the wall right, didn't he? And Ronnie Whelan could have got it to bend another foot, and they might have been embarrassed. Staunton. Aldridge is making some great runs up front for Ireland, but Parker is quick enough and alert enough to get back, and this time he and Schmeichel sort it out. Here's Robson. United fullbacks have swapped sides for this second half. Mal Donaghy now on the left, and Clayton Blackmore ahead of Steve Bruce here on the right. Here is Blackmore. Kevin Moran across to check his progress. Nice interchange between Staunton and Sheedy. Here's Steve Staunton again. John Sheridan. Staunton. In towards Quinn. They just lost him for a moment there. It was a swinging cross. And Gary Pallister jumping in front of Niall Quinn. Lost it. And it just clipped the outside of the post, I believe. Niall Quinn will be a little disappointed. He may just have had his view of it masked by Pallister jumping in front of him. Pallister was hoping and expecting to make contact himself. And Jerry Payton in the Ireland goal, relatively untroubled since the early stages of the game. Made one good save with his feet in the closing stages of the first half. But it's Ireland coming forward again. Dennis Irwin, and there's another header from Quinn. This time Bruce was closer to him, but Quinn still got in his header, and it was another teasing, bending cross from Irwin. And that's bad news for Manchester United when they start to pick out Quinn with that kind of regularity. Sooner or later, you're going to be punished. Second half, 7 minutes old, and Quinn's had two headed chances. Ince battling well for possession. Obstructed by Sheedy. Good advantage played by Neil Midgley. United in possession. Blackmore. Webb on the run. Tidied up by Sheridan. But both Webb and Ince were making good forward runs in the early stages of the first half. Quinn just getting to it again. Sheedy quickly in. Pallister in the way as he tried to link up with Byrne. Bruce finding Ince. Going on alone. Rather pulled the shot in the end. But the shot was the obvious option, having made so much progress. Did have McClare to his right. He did the right thing, he just didn't do it well enough. There are going to be a couple more substitutions here. And Manchester United will replace Gary Pallister and Neil Webb with a breath of youth. Darren Ferguson on the right, number 14, and Russell Beardsmore, number 15. Be interesting to see how that affects Manchester United's defensive look. On two comes David Kelly of Leicester City in place of John Aldridge up front for Ireland. And United now will play with a more conventional flat back four of Blackmore, Parker, Bruce and Donaghy, and push an extra man on into midfield. Beardsmore wide on the right and Ferguson on the left of Robson and Ince in the centre of things. Nobby Stiles and Mike Phelan watching on. Ferguson. Donaghy. Hughes. It was O'Leary again, and this is John Byrne. O'Leary making the overlapping run. Also a good cross too, Schmeichel at full stretch. Well held. And another quick bit of distribution. Beardsmore. Bruce. Just lost a little bit of their early togetherness, Manchester United. They've made a few changes and it'll take some time to settle down again. Changes in system and personnel. And the Irish preparing to bring on the familiar figure of Liam Brady. And just kicking the ball dead, so the substitution can be made. Off comes David O'Leary, a well-earned rest for him. And Liam Brady, now of course the manager of Glasgow Celtic. There's also a change in the United rear guard. Gary Pallister is back on for Steve Bruce, who seems to have a problem. Pallister didn't get much of a rest, did he? But Brady taking the field along with an admirer who's less than welcome. Made the last of his 72 appearances for Ireland against Finland in May of last year. It was a testimonial match for him, actually. But now his responsibilities are with Glasgow Celtic. Of course, both several Ireland internationals themselves. Tony Cascarino, who Brady's just signed, along with Packy Bonner and Chris Morris. Niall Quinn is now playing at centre-half for Ireland. He's marking Mark Hughes, which is a bit of a novelty. Here's Paul Ince. Darren Ferguson. Mal Donaghy. Brian Robson. Brian McClare. And there's the new centre-half. He's certainly big enough. Peter Reid just spent £2.5 million on a centre-half. Not sure that he'll appreciate Quinn's emergency stint in defence. Just over an hour gone. Ireland still leading Manchester United by a goal to nil. An own goal by Paul Parker 3 minutes before half-time. Schmeichel throwing the ball over the halfway line, away by Quinn. Robson. Beardsmore. Robson's made a good forward run beyond Liam Brady. Here is Brian Robson. And he's beaten Brady. Possibilities here. Hughes couldn't make the kind of contact needed. Just had a little stab at it, Mark Hughes. But Robson got in behind the Irish there for the first time in a while for Manchester United. But having got the better of Brady, he couldn't link up with any of the three supporting players. Hughes actually got a touch, but not the kind that was needed. Pallister. Irwin with the throw. McLaughlin. Space here for John Byrne. United unhinged. Sheedy on the volley. Didn't really get hold of it. There are a few players that you would rather have in that situation striking for you than Kevin Sheedy on the left foot, but that was a bit of a misfire. Maybe got a touch off a defender's head on the way through. Paul Ince. Brian Robson. They're starting to take charge in the centre of the field. The United captain. Although Brady's robbed him there. Kelly. Byrne. Brady with Staunton outside of him. Going for glory, forcing a save from Schmeichel. Liam Brady lashing in a left-footed shot which Peter Schmeichel had to deal with. Still a bit of football left in Brady. It was a pretty comfortable save in the end for Schmeichel. It was almost an insurance policy really. But a corner which Dennis Irwin will take. In towards Quinn, Pallister did well. Just forced it away. Brady again. He's starting to pull the strings a bit now. Staunton. Byrne. Forced away by Robson. Beardsmore for Parker. Paul Parker venturing forward over the halfway line, virtually the first time. Robson. Hughes. He's got McClare and Ferguson in support. Parker just outside him. Hughes alone. Shakes his head. Everybody on the Stretford end were holding their breath then, expecting something spectacular from Hughes. And it was a bit of an anticlimax in the end. Liam Brady, Kevin Sheedy, two lovely southpaws, two of the sweetest left feet in the game. Brady again. Blackmore in the end, losing out to John Byrne. McLaughlin's in the middle, stopped by Schmeichel. Sheedy, and again an excellent stop by the United keeper. Great reactions from the big man. Manchester United undone at the back, but their new goalkeeper equal to the two challenges. Firstly, keeping out the header by McLaughlin, and then as Sheedy tried to pick his spot, beating away his effort too. Good goalkeeping by Peter Schmeichel. But Ireland winning the ball back rather too comfortably in midfield at the moment. Here's Niall Quinn, a centre-half in the Jack Charlton traditions, really. May even be a little bit taller than his manager. Staunton finding Sheridan. Manchester United have seen quite enough of him this year. And Brian Robson getting back to concede the corner. Sheedy then to take it. Space for Moran, Instow in front of him, away by McClare, only as far as Alan McLaughlin, blocked by Donaghy, chance for Sheridan, not this time you don't. Schmeichel in the way. John Sheridan, bounced very kindly for him, didn't it, and bounced awkwardly in front of Schmeichel. Clayton Blackmore. Mark Hughes. Now can he stretch Ireland here? Beardsmore. Header from Robson! Captain's goal. He's back all right. And Manchester United are back at 1-1. Set up by Hughes, crossed by Beardsmore, and finished emphatically by Brian Robson. That was a signature goal from Brian Robson. He scored so many like that, arriving late and finishing superbly. It really thudded against the back stanchion of the goal, that. It's come with 13 minutes to spare. Alex Ferguson's team are back on terms and his captain is back in action. And it's only a couple of weeks ago that they were saying that Brian Robson wouldn't be playing until September, October time. Well, it's still August and he's scoring. Now, has that set up the big finish? United were in need of a tonic, and what a tonic. Hughes, Ferguson, good tackle by Owen, McClare having a blast. Hit Kevin Moran, he felt it. David Kelly. Ireland on the bounce. Well, a meandering run by Kelly, who was looking for the free kick and got it. He'd just about run out of options there, Kelly. I'll try and make luck with this, a little bit of obstruction. And Neil Midgley's arm raised to signify an indirect free kick. Sheedy, Sheridan and Staunton the main candidates. It's played into Sheedy by Sheridan, skillfully done. Well, the cross not quite up to the quality and the ingenuity of the initial free kick. That was a clever one, wasn't it? Sheedy looked as if he was on a decoy, he wasn't. Three waiting for the cross, it was far too long. So it's been quite a lively introduction to life at Old Trafford for Peter Schmeichel. But he's been equal to just about everything. Free kick given against Staunton. Foul on Russell Beardsmore here. Gary Pallister. Last 6 minutes of the game now. Brian Robson. Cut out by Moran. Sheridan trying to set up an Irish break. He's got David Kelly to his right. McLaughlin's getting there. Burns getting there too, but it's right down the throat of Schmeichel. Quickly out to Robson. Darren Ferguson. Brian McClare. Russell Beardsmore hugging the touchline. Ferguson. Hughes. Robson to Donaghy. McClare. Hughes is in there. It's lifted over his head though, and an easy take for Jerry Payton. Brady. John Byrne running at Parker. Good shepherding work that again by Parker. Very difficult to expose him one-on-one. Brady did well to buy the space for himself. McLaughlin, Brady couldn't quite gather it in. Pallister did. Hughes early on for McClare, but there's that rangy centre half again, Niall Quinn. Brady's enjoyed his outing today. He's passed the ball beautifully. Sheridan on to Byrne. Harry Pallister clearing that time. Robson. Beardsmore. Ferguson letting it run and McClare didn't read it. Hughes has got it back though. Now there are possibilities. Brian Robson. He'll have to stretch to get there, but he'll get there. Disappointing cross. It's too close to Jerry Payton. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Still Manchester United 1, Ireland 1. An own goal by Paul Parker after 42 minutes. Equalised by Brian Robson after 77. McLaughlin. Sheridan. Good ball, Kelly! Schmeichel so quickly down. He really is quite a tall man, but he's got good movement, good agility, as David Kelly will now testify on a couple of occasions. Ince. Robson. Beardsmore. Hughes and Ferguson on their backs into the box. It's McClare arriving late, and Owen saw him coming. Mal Donaghy. Brian Robson. Clayton Blackmore. Ferguson. Robson. Trying to play Ferguson in. Forced a corner off Niall Quinn. Quarter to Manchester United. Last 2 minutes. Darren Ferguson will take it. Gary Pallister is forward. Pallister jumping with Quinn. Neither of them reached it. Had to be high. Ince. Robson. Right foot this time. Taking responsibility. He's taken charge in this second half. It's been a good workout for him. Encouraging form after his layoff, and the bonus of the equalising goal, which he thudded past Jerry Payton here. Just over 1 minute to go. Quinn doing his job to the bitter end. Paul Ince, Mark Hughes. Just caught by Kevin Moore as he turned him. It's been like a first division match for Mark Hughes this afternoon. He really has been tangling with Moran. As I was saying a little bit earlier, they are good friends. They were teammates together here at United, and they both play the game in that fashion. They probably enjoy playing against each other. Don't feel as though they've been in a match unless there's a bit of black and blue in the morning. And there'll be plenty of that. Paul Parker. Brian Robson. Stoppage time. Paul Ince. Mal Donaghy arriving. And Dennis Irwin cutting him off in his prime. The final whistle signals the end of a memorable afternoon for Sir Matt Busby, who's seen the current Manchester United team come back from behind to whole Republic of Ireland with a goal from Brian Robson, 13 minutes from the end. A lot more for Alex Ferguson to take from this game. Paul Parker's own goal will appear in print in the morning papers, but his manager will have seen a lot to please him. And indeed, in the performance of the other newcomer, Peter Schmeichel, the goalkeeper, who had a very fine second half in particular. But an afternoon when the result really is secondary to the occasion. Final score, Manchester United 1, Republic of Ireland 1. A useful pre-season workout for Manchester United, but more importantly, a massive tribute to the man who built Manchester United, Sir Matt Busby.